Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace and blessings be on the listener, the one who herself or himself has uncluttered from necessary drama and from the lies we learn from the dream of humanity. I, the pure consciousness, I, the pure consciousness, I, the self-awareness, the pure consciousness and the self-awareness would manifest the words of truth and wisdom through this mind and through this body. Somebody has asked me a few days back that how to get rid of the negative emotions, because of course negative emotion is keeping them restless. So how to get rid of the negative emotion, because the negative emotions are keeping them restless. They cannot rest. The one who is resting in their mind does not need much rest. You see, the one who is resting in their mind does not need much rest. The negative emotions caused by everything what we perceive through the filters and through the conditioning. The negative emotions are the reaction of that. And when we have so many negative emotions in our awareness, then it's extremely difficult, or it is extremely impossible to rest in the mind or in the awareness. And this is a wonderful question. First of all, the question was asked almost a week back, but if you see, I have not done or conveyed the message in a few days because I am working quite a few hours every day, and which is very good, which is good to work to get, because remember something, life needs involvement. If because of talking about the negative emotions, is if because of insecurities, anxiety, fear, doubt, if we don't do anything about it and try to hide ourselves and barricade ourselves in the walls and in the doors, we cannot get rid of the karma. The more our please remember this, the more our involvement in the life, the more karma we shed or accumulate. So, however, most of the time is shed, which is a good thing. So life needs involvement without any negative emotions. As you know, that I always stress, and I use very precise words to say that pay attention and focus on my words. And I gave you a tool in the last retreat or the retreat before, that when you come and hear the message, you basically try a little bit of meditation prior to that. When you hear my message, it's very important. It would initiate a stability in your awareness. You would have more patience and understanding to what I'm saying. Your focus would be more intact, because I look at an issue as closely as humanly possible, and I try to approach the same topic through different perspectives. So the focus is a must, is dire. So it's a wonderful question, that how to lessen or get rid of the negative emotions. So negative emotions are the reactions of the everything we know about ourselves. It's important. Domestication and conditioning is a must, and it's important, and it's very necessary in order to function in the society. Domestication or conditioning is everything that we learn from the society. I have said that before. I have elaborated on that before. Domestication or conditioning is everything that we have learned from the society. Some of these traits are extremely necessary in order to function in the society, so there is nothing against it. But when we start living in the psychological drama, because most of these things we learn are lies. They are flat out lies. They are not true. They are lies. Lies are what you gather from other people's experience. It may work in some situations, but what I'm talking about is entirely different thing. I'm saying it's not necessary to live on those lies. After a certain period of time, all these lies that what you have learned, you start living in those lies, and that causes you an emotional reaction, or an emotion which is a reaction to everything that you know. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Negative emotions, of course, are very real. They cannot be seen or felt, or touched. You see what I'm saying? They cannot be seen or touched, but they are very real. The very evidence that the negative emotions keep us restless within, a friction within, then of course they are real, and we need to do something about it, because negative emotions are happening to us, unfortunately, one way or another, to all of us during the day. Some of us are perceiving negative emotions less than others, and some of us are perceiving negative emotion more than others, and some of us are perceiving negative emotions all the time, which is unfortunately a very miserable state to be. You understand? Negative emotions, some of us are living constantly in these negative emotions, which is making our life, unfortunately, a living hell. So we need negative emotions actually grow in obscurity. If we do not look close to negative emotions, if we do not look at the actions that we are getting a reaction which we understand as negative emotions, then we cannot do anything about it. Half of the world, unfortunately, perceiving negative emotions at all times and thinking it's natural. But I can promise you it's not natural. There is nothing natural about it. It is a habit which is formed by everything that we know through the society, which are mostly lies. Some of them are true, but most of them are lies, because we hear something and we, through somebody else's experience, and we think it's true, and it happens to everybody. Truth is happening to each individual in a different manner. Each individual perceives the very truth in a different manner. Not two people can perceive the same reality as same. Please remember that. You may find it very strange what I said, but I know it for a fact. So, truth is silent. Truth is what you are perceiving at any given moment, without words. You see what I'm saying? truth is silent. Truth is silent. Truth is what you are perceiving without words or thoughts at any given moment. When you perceive truth without thoughts or words, there are chances then you don't get involved in as many negative emotions, because negative emotions are mostly generated by everything what you know. So I'm trying to zero in now. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to zero in on the topic at this moment in time. So we need to look basically that what we know and how it triggers the negative emotions. First of all, please remember that the only truth is truth for you is what you perceive personally without any words or thought. Somebody else's experience with somebody does not mean you would have the same experience with that person. For instance, a person comes to you and says something nasty about another human being. And since you have learned to digest everything, sadly, you believe. You do not bother to see the intention of this particular person, that why this person is telling me something negative about somebody else. You never bother to question, you just believe. Or at least most of the humans do that without questioning. Some of us are smarter, some of us are smarter and some of us are wise. But most of us unfortunately believe in these type of lies without even questioning the intent of this person, the why this person is trying to hook my attention about somebody else negative. You see? And if you believe in that, what this person told you, then and when you meet this person about whom the lie was told, you see and perceive that person through that perspective. And that right there starts a negative emotion. There is a friction in your awareness now. You see? So somebody else tells you, always question what is the intent of this person telling me this? Why this person is telling me this? Why it is necessary for me to believe this person? So believe is not good, because believe leads you to suffering. If you have doubt and you are open to truth, that would lead you to wisdom and liberation. And that you can only have when you question everything within yourself. So if you don't believe, the poison does not affect you. That's what I'm saying. Then you know that this experience is solely this person's experience with somebody else, not my experience. I don't believe it. If I personally experience then and only then I believe. So half of the frustration, negative emotion, some type of resentment is gone now. You see, just by doing a very simple thing, half of that is gone. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. So what I'm saying, if we do not look closely towards the intentions of other human beings, if we do not question, if we just digest everything that we have learned from the society, if we do not challenge it, then we would always remain restless. There would be always a tension, like the tight rubber band. When you pull the rubber band, a super thick one, and then there is a tension. That tension would always be there, unfortunately. And unpleasant emotions, negative emotions, are not very pleasant. They are not very friendly. They are very unpleasant, you see? And the best thing you can do, instead of looking outside, look inwards. Sadly, most humans, unfortunately, most humans don't bother to look inwards and question what they believe. They do not challenge what they believe. They just believe blindly. And that starts a tension and a feeling of restlessness, unfortunately, in their awareness. So the first thing we need to do, we need to question and challenge everything what we are believing. And then we can rewire ourselves. You understand? Then we can rewire ourselves and we can reprogram ourselves. This is extremely important in order to attain growth and wisdom and liberty, because liberty is a given. It's like a perk which comes with the wisdom. The more you understand yourself, the how you function. Most people, when they feel negative emotion, they tell themselves, I don't want to think about it. The more you tell yourself, I don't want to think about it, the more you would think about it. Please know that. It's a given. Or they try to engage in different type of activities, or they go to other people and spread more poison, so they have to take it off the chest and stuff like that. All this has created, unfortunately, so much negativity. You see, so much negativity it has created that is unbelievable. Somebody said here in West, and it was a very wise statement, that demons and devil are real and they live within us. You see, what does that mean? What you understand as demon, in religions they portray the demon or the devil. In religions they portray the demons or the devils. But demon or devils do not have a physical form. Demons and devils are the negative emotions. Doubt, suspicion, control, domineering, resentment, anger, sadness, anxiety, depression, fear, and the list goes on. 10 of them I just told you, and I can carry on. These unfortunately accumulated so many negative emotions in the dream of humans. Humans have accumulated. The only reason it's going on because they never bother to look at the problem. They never bother to look. If I am feeling something, it's a reaction. What is the action? Why am I feeling that? You must challenge what you believe. Otherwise you cannot grow. This is an advice from me to you. You see? And then they look always outside. Nothing happens. Nothing productive happens. The emotion may subside for some time, but it would rise again in the human. So it's a very sad and it's a very critical situation. That's why I am addressing and making it as simpler. That's why I am addressing this issue and making it as simpler as humanly possible. I hope you understand everything what I'm saying. And then the words basically form thoughts in your mind. Words are important when you want to communicate, but it's not necessary to live in your psychological drama all the time. When you are alone, you have all the words in the in the entire world in your mind, and those words are going and rearranging in form of thoughts and giving you the scenarios, and you have no control on your thoughts now. You have lost, unfortunately, total control on your thoughts just because you think the words are real. As I have mentioned numerous times in the messages, the words are not real. You see, please do not pay attention to somebody who use the words against you to provoke you, because that would start a reaction, and reaction is the negative emotion, or you can understand that negative emotion. You can understand that negative emotion as anger. You see, if somebody, these are all the factors which actually contribute, is the best word that I would use, contribute to start negativity. So as I said, demons and devil, these are these emotions, these negative emotions. That's why the paradise or heaven does not have a place for any of these negative emotions. You would automatically feel that you are in paradise or heaven if you are not perceiving negative emotions, because heaven is a place. It's not, excuse me, heaven is not a place. Heaven is a state of the being, basically. You understand what I'm saying? Heaven is the state of the being where there are no devils or no demons, where there are none of these negative emotions you think are true and natural, and they are not. And it started by that you believe the words are real. If I point at my body, if I point out towards my own body and say this is yes, it's a lie. Yes is basically a title which is given to this body for the identification purpose, and everyone agrees to that, so this becomes yes. But truth of the matter is, this is not yes. This is a phenomena happening in nature, and it goes to all the creation which is happening through nature. The same goes to all the creation which is happening in nature. Please know that. So words are important to communicate. I need this, you need that, may I get this, how can I do this, or I want that. When you are communicating with each other, when you require something, you use words. When you want to communicate, when you want to say something, express yourself, you use words. But not any word has no meanings in reality. So in other words, what I'm trying to tell you is, it's not important to react to a word, basically. If you are reacting to a word, it means that you are agreeing to the meanings of the word. You understand? While I have told you that words have no meanings in reality. You go to a horse and say, do you know you are a horse? And you would get your answer. You go to a cat and say, do you know you are a cat? You would get your answer. You go to a river and you stand the river bank. You are standing on the river bank and you ask the river, do you know you are a river? You would get your answer, because you wouldn't get no answers. That's what I'm saying. And that itself is an answer to prove that these things, if I would understand again your argument, if you said, if it replied us back and said, yes, I know. But it does not know. So all these words are the markers, basically, have no meanings in reality. So it's not necessary for you, and it's not necessary for all of us to live in the words. Yes, words are important when you want to communicate, when you need something, when you want to go somewhere or perform or function in the society, but there is no need when you are alone by yourself performing your meditation or yoga, or just, you know, in a super silent corner, but you are still using the words in your mind. And then you are saying, I have no control on these words. You absolutely have control on these words. My service, what I'm doing right now, is trying to show you a more clear picture and bring some clarity and awareness that it is very possible to have control on words. Right now, I am saying all these words because I'm conveying a message to you. However, I have no thought in my mind. I have no words in my mind. I'm in a state of meditation even right now, as I normally do and usually am. Even right now, I'm in a state of meditation. I have been since last couple of hours. I have total control on words. You see, I am not having these words in my mind, but I am conveying it. That right there is a proof that I have 100% control on words, because I have freed basically my faith from the words. There was a time, probably 10 years fairly, then I was thinking the words have any meanings or they are real. But since my life went through transformation and a lot of karma unfolded to me, now I fully understand that words have no meanings in reality. It's we give the word the birth. You understand? We give birth to the words. We are giving birth to the words by agreeing to the meanings of it. So if somebody tries to provoke you by using the words against you, you understand? If somebody tries to provoke you by using the words because they are trying to seek a reaction from you, they are trying to initiate, sadly and unfortunately, a negative emotion in you, which is anger. But you understand whatever this person is saying, based on their understanding, it has nothing to do with me. You see, it does not exist in nature. It didn't come from sacred. It's a human construct. Every single word is a human construct. Any word is a human construct. Meanings, no reality. So there is no need to react to it in an aggressive way. There is no need to react to it in an angry way. People, when they lose control of their feelings and their emotions, they react to these things without having clarity in their mind, and that unfortunate, because what you essentially are made out of is energy, and energy amplifies very quickly. So it's very easy for humans to lose control if somebody tries to trigger. I hope you're understanding everything what I'm saying, because everything I'm answering your inquiry. You see, I'm approaching it through different perspective and trying to show you very clearly that how can you get rid of the negative emotions. What I'm doing basically, I am understanding that negative emotions are the reaction of an action. And what is the action? We are looking in those actions that we have learned. Unfortunately, we have learned the lies through domestication and through conditioning, and we believe in all these things. These are the causes which cause negative reactions in us. So any word in reality has no meanings. Okay. Believing in these type of things, believing what you have been told, what you have been handed over, believing in all those things does not help until unless you challenge what you believe. You see, because believing in something without fully understanding it would set you up for the misery. So I hope, and I'm sure that I have brought a little more clarity now in you, that what causes to have negative emotions. The words which form thoughts, believing in things without having to experience it personally, just simply believing. These are the catalyst, or these are the major factors start negative emotions in us. So always question what you believe. Remember and know that no words in reality have no meanings, and I proved that. I proved that through 3 different examples of a horse, example of a cat, example of a river. These are the phenomena happening in nature. So if somebody tries to use the word against you, don't give a reaction to it. Move away from it and keep yourself calm all the time. Or at least for the most part of your day. You see, being angry is also something that you don't want to get involved in. It's one of the very prominent is one of the very prominent and major issue, being angry. You understand, or do you know, there is a very thin line between sanity and insanity. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is a very thin line between sanity and insanity. So because of these factors that I have mentioned not long ago, when you get angry and you react to it in a very angry or aggressive way, you cross that line. You understand? You cross that line. However, luckily, most of the time you are able to get back behind the line. You cross the line from sanity to insanity. You basically cross that line when you get angry or you get aggressive. And then you are in insanity, but luckily you are able to cross back. But sometimes, unfortunately, most of the time it happens to a person who is angry for the most part during the day, and they don't see anything wrong with that, and they think it's natural and that's the way I am, and they blame everything and everybody around them, but they do not look at the problem, that why I am getting an emotional reaction from all this. Such a person is very vulnerable. Such a person has unfortunately developed the tendencies to not come back one day. And once they cannot cross back to sanity, there you go, you lost it. It's unfortunately, it's a very sad and unfortunate situation. So keep yourself calm, or at least try your level best to keep yourself calm during the day, or for the most part of the day. You see, for the most part of the day or during the day, try to keep yourself calm. Again, this is where not only the education of self-awareness comes in, but also the spiritual aspect of yourself comes in. You see, when you sit early morning every day in a super silent corner, when you sit early morning every day in a super silent corner, try not to board on words, because now you know words have no meanings. You are alone, you are by yourself. It's not necessary to board on the words or to bring your focus voluntarily on the words, because you know the words have no meanings in reality. So what you do, you sit and you sit attentively, just like I am sitting here. I demonstrate in almost every message I can do. It's very important for you. It may seem like a very simple and easy thing to do, but believe me, when you start doing it, it would seem like a workout, because now you are going against everything what you have learned, which are mostly lies. Remember that, I said that not long ago. Now you are learning to sit attentively in a super silent corner, and you are paying gratitude to the very important thing happening in this very moment, which is that you are breathing. The life is going in, which you essentially are, and life is going out, and you are giving gratitude, and you have the awareness in your mind that no words in reality have any meanings. Words would pop up, words would tell you to do something right away, words would tell you to attend some business right away, words would tell you to make a phone call right away, words would tell you to do something. They would compel you. That's the word I'm looking for in English. They would compel you. They would pull you, basically. But you would say, this is my time, and I owe this much to myself. You understand? you would not go with the thought, or you would not go with the words. You would say, this is my time, this much I owe to myself. And that's a brilliant way to start your day. Words. So when you do this practice, what you do, you free basically your faith that you have invested in the words, that you learn the lies from everybody, which is conditioning that words have any meanings. And not long ago, rewatch the video please if you missed that, I mentioned that words have no meaning. So when you said, so what you do basically, if you make it a habit and a practice for yourself, doing just this every day, you would free your faith. Free your faith from the words, and then you would have tons of energy to deal with any situation during the day, and I can promise you that. You see, for me, sometimes I have sometimes I have only 4 hours sleep, sometimes I have only 5 hours sleep, but my energy is extremely high because I have freed my faith from the lies, and it is very possible to do. And that's the very reason, that's the very cause, that's the very that is the very attraction, I would rather say, to make this video and to convey this message. Because if I can do it, you can do it too. Our accumulation, you see, when I'm saying accumulation, I'm pointing out at my own body. Our accumulation may be different, of course, from each other. The accumulation of mind also may be different from each other, but I can promise you, real you and real me, exactly the same. So remember something, that when I can do it, so can you. You can free your faith from the lies and live in peace and harmony and not perceiving any negative emotions. You see, when I can do it, is all it requires that your willingness to perceive truth and beauty. That's all it requires. It does not require anything else. All it requires to perceive truth and to perceive beauty. That's all it requires.